You are ready.
Hi everyone. This is the Dog Attendant automatic doggy door, and here's a cute picture of my dog as well. Um, with us, me as Brian and Daniel, the CS majors, Justin Chica as the CIS majors, and Skylar and Stephanie as the IT majors. We'll be going over all our processes on how we come to the conclusion of building our product. With this product. We made it because, well, my grandma's very forgetful. Not that she has Alzheimer's or anything. She's just very scatterbrained and she likes to do a bunch of things at once. So putting up and managing her dog is just one less thing she has to worry about. So it makes her a bit more streamlined. So um, we'll move into what our product really is besides just a door that opens and closes. It's a new way for your pet to experience freedom, freedom outside of the reliance of your owner that has to manage the pet's access in and out of the house, as well as using Bluetooth and infrared technology to grant access to your dog um, and making it more hands-free as well, so you don't have to touch it as much. And to go further into the purpose of it, it's uh, it's a way to keep your animals out from other dog doors because if it grants access to your dog and not other animals, then it can keep other ones out and yours in. It also minimizes, as I said, that you don't have to touch it as much. You put it up and down and let your dog in and out all the time. And also, it's for people with disabilities, elderly people with arthritis that can't grasp things very well, or people with uh, maybe quadriplegics, or people that can't move their hands, or other disabilities. And then, speaking of the advantages, it utilizes technology to do all your work, as mentioned. Uh, your dog can do everything itself, and you don't have to do anything for it as much. And it can allow you to set when you open and close your door during the day. So maybe your pet doesn't want to come in or leave during the night or leave during the morning when you're asleep. And it allows you to keep up with your dog much easier, knowing when your dog's in and out of your house. And here's our blueprint. We'll move into a video after this to demo it. But first, let's discuss what it actually is running it. So we start off with our Raspberry Pi that controls all of our Bluetooth and devices. The Bluetooth in the Raspberry Pi is built in, and we're using Bluetooth Low Energy that we'll discuss later. And these devices that the Raspberry Pi uses is the PIR sensor that uses body heat of animals and people to move the door and scan for the Bluetooth, as well as a battery that's powering the device so that the door can open and close without many wires, and a motor to open the door so that your dog can enter and leave. And here's a video. And as the video plays, I'll explain it. So my dog runs up, the sensor detects my dog, and it's scanning for the Bluetooth tag that's on her collar. That's seen in the picture at the start. And she's being trained right now. So the door opens. I'm begging Retrice to come in. She comes in. The door stays open. Probably 11 and a half seconds is what I found was good. And then the door closes. She walks through and she's happy because she's being fed. So after that, I'll pass it off to Daniel. He'll explain more in depth about why we chose some of the stuff we did for our project.
Okay, hello, I'm Daniel Augustine. I will be discussing the back end and pretty much how the doggy door works. But just a light introduction. I'm just going to be talking about what programming language we decided to use. So we decided to go with Python. The reason we went with Python is mainly because Raspberry Pi is like it's the native language for Raspberry Pi. So it makes sense for us to just use a language that's already compatible with our device. Also, the CS members are a lot more comfortable with Python, so it's natural for us to lean towards a skill that we are more comfortable with. And in case we have any problems or run into any troubles, we can piggyback off each other. On to the next slide, I'll explain the back end. So next slide. Here I will be discussing the Bluetooth Low Energy because Brian, he briefly mentioned that that's what was pretty much going on with the whole opening and closing aspect. But specifically, we're using a Bluetooth Low Energy signal interface. I wanted to clarify the difference between regular Bluetooth and this Bluetooth we're using. So with regular Bluetooth, pretty much what happens is you have your Bluetooth and then your host, like your phone or I don't know, your computer, right? So you connect your Bluetooth to that host. As long as that Bluetooth is around the range of the host, it will stay connected. Once it leaves that range, it disconnects and you would have to reconnect it again to use it. But with Bluetooth Low Energy, what it does, it like pretty much in a simple term, it sits in the background and just passively emits um, a signal that can be scanned. And what is being scanned is a MAC address that can be picked up by any host that decides to connect to it. Well, not necessarily connect to it, but like in a sense that it can, once it finds an address, it can then do whatever it wants with it. Right. And then it also has an RSSI, which is like a distance calculator to just notify the host how far away the Bluetooth is to the host. A big advantage of the Bluetooth energy over regular Bluetooth is the connectivity problem that regular Bluetooth has. Once the, like I mentioned, once regular Bluetooth is out of the range of the host, it disconnects and you have to reconnect it again. But with the Bluetooth Low Energy, it doesn't really need to be connected. It can leave the range of the host, um, but because it passively emits and constantly emits its MAC address, it doesn't need to stay connected. All what needs to happen is the host needs to look for that address, and it would, once it finds it, it can then connect to it. And then another advantage is because it's low power, it doesn't need a lot of power, so it can stay running for a long amount of time, which is good for us based on our product that we're using, which it would be best for a dog who um, leaves and comes out of the house or the doggy door. And sometimes the owner might not be like a big on technology, so the owner doesn't really have to focus on charging or worrying about whether the tag Bluetooth tag will die off. So on the next slide, I'll explain the back end even more. So pretty much how the code works, we use this specific library called BluePy. This is pretty much what allows us to scan and retrieve that MAC address that I was previously talking about that is emitted by the Bluetooth Low Energy signal. So pretty much it's a library that allows us to scan for Bluetooth energy signals, and the main part is the scanner is what allows us to retrieve that MAC address. So if you look to the right, there's a sample code of what is pretty much going on when a dog approaches a door. So in this scenario, a dog would approach a door, the PRI system would sense for a body heat, it would detect the motion. Once the motion is detected, the main important part is that it has to make sure that whatever object is in front of it has or is emitting the MAC address that is going to be provided to it. So in this code, we provided a sample MAC address that theoretically would be present on our product, our Bluetooth tag. So in this is they have this MAC address. A dog would approach it. It will look for the MAC address. Is it in the vicinity in the range of this doggy door? If it is, now it will check. It will calculate the RSSI, the distance. So is it close enough? We will specify the distance, but based on the distance we specify, it will check if it's close enough or far enough. If it's close enough, then once those two conditions are met, the door will either open or close, and the dog can now go in or leave. On to the next slide, I will pass it on to Stephanie to discuss the IT section.
Okay, hello, my name is Stephanie and I'm one of the IT members. So today I'll be talking about the cloud service we chose, why we chose it, and the services we used. The cloud service we chose is AWS. We chose AWS mainly because of its pricing, storage, and scalability. And it has most of the services we require to make our project a success. One of the AWS service we used is EC2. We use EC2 as our main environment to build our project from the ground up. Since the Dog Attendant is an automatic door that needed both software and hardware components, to put together this product, we needed a virtual environment to run and test our program. So we created an instance in EC2. We also used IAM, and this is a security service that allowed other members to directly access our server without signing into their own AWS accounts. We also used Amazon Lightsail for our website hosting, and Skylar will talk more about that. Next slide. I'll be talking about backup because backup is important since we're dealing with sensitive data, and it's important and intricately tied, and losing any of this data will be a headache. So to do this, we came up with 3 backup methods, which will be updated every other day. Firstly, we'll back up with AWS since AWS provides scheduled backups, and this includes the entire EC2 instances and window applications running on EC2, also with the associated instance configurations. Secondly, we back up with Google Drive, and we have a shared folder for all our members. And we did this because it'll be easier to edit and share files on Google Drive. Lastly, the last method we're going to use to backup is we're going to save everything on a hard drive. Since our other two methods are on the cloud, we decided to have something tangible just in case something goes wrong. And now I'll pass it over to Skylar to talk more about the IT components.
Hi, my name is Skylar. Today I'm going to talk about backend services and hosting our website. So backend services are one of the most important features in web and app development, especially creating API server in our project. Many users will be able to access our database and crawling for data. The reason why we chose AWS backend services is this is our main cloud, and we've been using EC2 as our main testing software. So if we create APIs that access AWS and data stored in our cloud, users can freely access to the API and make their own web and application services. That is why we had to create API. So I believe AWS backend service is a key to make all this possible. So main feature for our API is gateways and Lambda. So this picture is showing our services blueprints and shows how it's functioning. So let's say one day a user wanted to develop a web service for Dog Attendant, and they call to access our database. So API gateway receives the request, and Lambda triggers with JSON or XML from our coding base. And users receive it back by our API systems. So our goal was creating application and web services to support our Doggy-Door, but due to the limited time, it was not possible to add more features. However, about the authentication, we set it as open API, which is open for public, and maybe many users who use our Doggy-Door, they can add and develop more services with us. Can you go to the next slide, please? So to host our website into our WordPress, we use Route 53 and Lysale. With Route 53, we register and change domain name www.dogattendant.com to own our IP address, as you see the pictures above. Also, when we receive a user's request, we can send it to our main EC2 instantly and instances directly through Route 53. Also, Lysale is a very simple EC2. With this, we will have a Linux server, and with this, we can do web hosting our website. Because of traffics in the internet, performance is really important, right? So, but with this, it costs only $1.50 monthly, so we can get high performance of servers with less of money. And then next, I'm gonna introduce our Dog Attendance hosting website. Can you play the video? Yeah, thanks. So as search bar, you can type the dogattendant.com, and this is our main web page. Yeah, and there are some titles about us, contact, sign up, and shop. First, about us, you can see our user manuals. You can download anytime in our websites. And you can sign up our pages and log in. Also contact us only if you have any technical issues, and we receive email our servers, and we work with our technician by the request. This is the shop. It costs $100, and you can buy it in our website. Okay. Lastly, yeah, can you go to the next slide? Can you go to previous? Yeah, thank you. So, okay, lastly, the pictures are showing the editing pages of our website. So to manage securities and authentication, we use instance of SSH from Lightsail. Also about our users, administrator is our IT students, and we created our group members account and password to access our website, and put users group as editor for other major students. Yeah, so let me pass it on to Chika for next presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Chika Ihiwako. I'm one of the CIS major for this group, and I'll be talking about the cost structure and revenue streams. Our competitive advantage as an automated dog door, we already know that there are other dog doors in the market. So what will give us a competitive advantage is our low cost. So our goal is to produce a dog door that is very affordable, inexpensive and reliable, that low income earners can also have access to it. So we came up with a price of $150 to sell the dog door. So other expenses, which include the components, for example, I will run you through the components of the dog door: the PIR sensor, the jump wires, the battery, the SD card, the dog door, the Bluetooth, which sum up to $95. So we had additional expenses like insurance, web hosting, advertising, which sum up to $20. So our advertising platform will be social media like Facebook to advertise our products. So after adding all the costs, we came up to like $115. So we did a survey to ask people how much they're willing to spend on an automated doctor. So we did a survey with a range of $200 to $2,000. So people agreed to pay 250, 200, 150. So we decided to go with 150 because our goal is to produce a dog door that is cheaper. Next slide, please. So our revenue streams includes transactional revenue. So we decided to sell only directly on our websites. And we can also reach out to partners like vendors who are willing to sell our business, but they have to buy from our website. So whatever income that comes from there will be directly from the website. And then service revenue, installation fee, just in case someone cannot install it by themselves and they need additional help. We have our technicians that are willing to help install it at the rate of $60, which will cover their transportation fee and all that. We also have recurring revenue, people who want to sign up for annual maintenance, which will cost them $80 every year to maintain the dog door, just in case there's any fault or any screw is out or anything. So our long-term goal is to attract investors who are willing to like invest in our business, to like help us promote the business to reach, the whole world if possible. So I'll pass it on to Justin to go in depth.
Hello, I'm Justin Harrington. I am the other CIS major on our product. When we were doing research for our product, we found that the main customer segment that would be most interested in our project was the people in the age ranges of 18 to 32. These people have a variety of work-life balance issues that have them looking for products to make their day more convenient and save them time as they run about to do their things. If you will look to the right here, we have a pie chart showing the breakdown of the ages of 18 to 32's average day. They spend about 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours at work, 2 hours on pet care, and this leaves them with free time averaging around 4 hours a day. Hence why they would look to our product for a convenient solution to help their pets meet their daily needs. The second demographic would be the ages in the ranges of 55 to 74. This is known as the baby boomer generation. However, they are on the rise in pet ownership rates, as 11.6 million of them have become pet owners within the last 10 years. Theirs is a need for convenience. As they rise in age and lose mobility, they need something to help their pets get in and out of the house without the hassle of walking the dog around the block to use the restroom, allowing them the freedom to meet their needs. Next slide, please. So competition that we would face upon the market. Automatic dog doors base models generally start around $300, but the cost can go all the way up to $1,800 depending on which model you're looking for. So entering the market at a price of $150 puts us below the base models of other average starting companies and in perfect position to make that work. We provide an affordable, quality, and convenient product to match the customer segments that we're most looking to capitalize on. Opportunities are waiting for entrepreneurs to take advantage of in the market, as the pet market was estimated at $99 billion in the year of 2020. Next slide, please. So this will conclude the Dog Attendant's presentation. Thank you for coming, and we will now open it up to questions from the audience. Thank you.
So I have a question I'd like to ask the team. How do you guys plan on entering the industry per se? Do you guys plan on being in like, Petco or PetSmart, that sort of thing?
I'll let Justin or Shika answer that one.
So our main method of sale would be from the website, and we plan to use social media promotion and positive word of mouth, spread the news, and then further along the line, we would want to partner with Petco and PetSmart and other retailers like that would buy the product in bulk, and they would sell it then from the storefront. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello,
One.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for the other CIS. How did you guys come up with your selling price for Doggy Dog?
Like I said earlier, we did a survey which we sent out to a couple of people, about 40 of them. So we asked them if they are aware of if they've heard about automated dog door, and they said majority of them said no. So we asked if they're willing to, how much are they willing to pay on a range of $200 to like $2,000. The max was like $200. And so our goal is to produce something very inexpensive. So we decided to like just sell at $150 for now. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
I have a question. In regards to, I guess, the BLE that y'all chose to use, did y'all look into just like a passive RFID chip as an option, or I guess what made y'all go BLE versus like something like that?
Yeah, I'll answer that. That's we tried RFID, but the range tends to be much shorter with RFID because tags and stuff, because like whenever you have a Raspberry Pi, you need a module on it to emit a frequency large enough to power that as well. So your power cost would go up, and then the amount of energy required and size of the thing to detect it at range would be extremely big. Because like RFIDs are coming like little key cards, maybe this big. You have to hold them real close, and then in order to get that bigger, you have to put more power and scale it bigger to get RFID to work besides Bluetooth.
Okay, appreciate it.
I had a question for the CS majors. I was curious because it was a physical product, what the development process kind of looked like.
Yeah, sure. I'll let Daniel talk about software development lifecycle.
Okay, so pretty much it was a very simple development once we had everything figured out. The hardware is not a problem. The only thing that was a little difficult was just getting the connect, like searching for the MAC address, but then like getting all the parts to work coercively, like together, like in fluidity. So yeah, once the PR senses motion, we needed a way to rotate the motor to a certain angle and degrees, and then hold that position for a certain amount of time and then close back as well. But the development it was very simple in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I was just curious because with like a physical product, you'd actually have to like, did you guys meet up and stuff in person? Or...
So we well, for the coding part, we just did that online. So I would code when a section, and then I would just send my email, or we use Slack, so I would send my part of the code to Brian, so he could look at it or add some more components to it. So the coding project was a lot easier. Brian worked on the hardware section, so he just put it all together once the back end was completed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hello, I have a question for the IT. So with your Doggy's Door API, what are the types of service can you guys make?
Well, yeah, let me answer this question. So I think it's various because with good API, users can develop any type of application. So one of them, I think users may want to know how often the Doggy Doors opens and close, and makes the frequencies with app and shows data. So in the apps, users may know when my dog wants to go outside and how long it stays outside, something like that. So if we can organize with tracking app, I think it will be a good idea. So I think with good database and programming languages built in our product, yeah. So API also can go further, more from many ideas. Does it help your answer?
Yeah, thank you so much.
I have a question. Okay, I'm not sure if this was mentioned in your presentation or not, and if it was, I'm so sorry I missed it. How is the dog door automatic? I'm asking because my dog, if it were up to him, he'd run out of the house 100 times a day. So yeah, I was just wondering, is it automatic, or do you put it on a schedule, or how does that work?
Yes, I had it here. Oh, this little tile, if you can see it, it's what we used on the dog's neck to make it so if you take it off your dog's neck, then it won't be able to go outside, or if it's programmed to do that, then it won't be able to leave. So with the tile, it grants it access or not.
Gotcha. Thanks.